The Ravens 14, and this is where we finally find Oregon's Kayvon Thibodeaux. Ryan, I want to start with you because, for so long, once upon a time, we were like, this is the guy. This is the #1 overall guy. Here he is at 14. What's going on?
No, it's crazy, and it has nothing to do with on the field for the most part. And I don't like sort of talking about rumors this time of year because a lot of it's smoke screening, but it's not rumors. So I've been talking to teams that have been telling me this, that there's some concerns about whether you can coach him up hard. I've heard concerns that he doesn't work hard all the time, and sometimes he takes plays off. And, again, if the draft were in January, perhaps this is different. But when you keep hearing something, you have to start believing it. And when teams are telling you this directly, you have to start believing it. So I think there's a concern out there about that. If you watch him play, he's lights out, and he's lights out most of the time. I think the concerns are maybe outside of the football in terms of the practice and again, being able to be coached hard or whatever you want to call it. So we'll see how this sorts itself out. It feels like he's going to fall outside of the top 5. That doesn't mean he's not a top 5 talent based on what he's done on the field, but it's been a curious conversation about Kayvon Thibodeaux going back to the end of the season, and you keep hearing it, and that's why I hesitantly bring it up, but bring it up nonetheless.
Ryan, I think he's done himself a disservice by the way he's handled some of his interviews. I mean, go back to the championship game. He was sitting down with Fox, and he talked about, hey, I didn't want to go to Bama because I didn't want to win national championships. I wanted to build a brand. You talk about scaring off NFL GMs. Like, if you're more worried about building a brand than winning championships, then why are you playing the game? So I think, you talk about rumors, what people think about him. The more he talks, it's like he hasn't been coached up very well. Because I get people, everyone wants to build a brand, but you should be all you should be talking about is what a great football player you want to be. But he's mercurial. He wants to go out there and build something else outside of football, which is okay. But I think that's scaring off a lot of teams.
Look, Baltimore took Odafe Oweh in the first round last year, and he showed signs of what could be a really good edge rusher in this league for a long period of time. It would make a lot of sense. And I think they'd be ecstatic if they could get Kayvon Thibodeaux in this spot, given his upside and ability that he showed on tape. And this is a defense, too, that struggled to be able to get a consistent pass rush at times last year, with the exception of Oweh. And their defensive front needs a lot of work. So this would be a huge get for Baltimore if they didn't have to move up to take Thibodeaux at this spot. Baltimore typically likes the draft defense in the first round when you go through their draft history. Granted, last year I believe they took Rashad Bateman in the first round, but for the most part, they love to take first-round defensive players because they usually make an immediate impact. So it makes a lot of sense here. I think they would be extremely happy with this pick if he fell in their lap.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.